After North Carolina refused to do away with its anti-LGBT, anti-transgender law, it turns out that the NCAA has taken some action against the state. In fact, the National Collegiate Athletic Association announced on Monday that it would pull 7 championship games from North Carolina over the state's anti-LGBT law. The NAACP said that North Carolina laws make it challenging to promote an inclusive atmosphere for all college athletes, coaches, administrators, and fans. So what they're mostly concerned about is the anti-transgender component of that law, which would basically force people to use the bathrooms that that's on their birth certificate. So if they identify as a female but were born a male, well, then they still have to use the bathroom for males. And so the NCAA doesn't like that. Now, what's interesting, though, is, one of the presidents from a university in North Carolina is saying, but wait a minute, our university doesn't have that policy. Our university believes in equality. We allow transgender students to use whichever bathroom they feel most comfortable with. So we feel like we're caught in the middle right now. But I mean, I can totally understand why the NCAA is taking this action. They're trying to raise awareness about something that they feel passionately about.
Look, here's what works: economic pressure.
Yeah.
It worked in South Africa, to use more extreme examples, but it also worked in Egypt. Do you think the revolution was just about Twitter? No, there was massive labor strikes in Egypt. That's what brought down Mubarak in the first place. So when you put economic pressure on, that's a language that Republicans understand. And so, yes, it's unfortunate that the University of North Carolina and others are caught in the middle here. But the reality is, well, then, hey, go vote out your state legislators or have them change their minds. And by the way, North Carolina is now basically a purple state nationally. Hillary Clinton has a narrow lead in North Carolina as we speak today. Hillary Clinton. But what that goes to show you is that sometimes progressives or Democrats will go to vote in big national elections, but you're not voting at local elections. That's why your state is run by guys who are so much more right-wing than what the citizens of North Carolina are, which then leads us to the North Carolina Republican Party's statement on this, which is why we're doing the story in the first place, because it is so over the top.
It's extremely over the top. All right, so the North Carolina GOP releases the following statement. This is so absurd, it's almost comical. I genuinely look forward to the NCAA merging all men's and women's teams together as singular, unified, unisex teams. Under the NCAA's logic, colleges should make cheerleaders and football players share bathrooms, showers, and hotel rooms. This decision is an assault to female athletes across the nation. If you are unwilling to have women's bathrooms and locker rooms, how do you have a women's team? I wish the NCAA was this concerned about the women who were raped at Baylor. Okay, can we stop for a second? This is literally the first time I've heard the GOP say anything aggressive against rape, right? Where the fuck has the GOP been with all of these rape cases throughout the country? Because they haven't given a shit at all. Where the hell has the GOP been when we talked about military rape, when that was the big story a couple of years ago? They were nowhere. But when it comes to attacking transgender people, all of a sudden they're concerned with rape, which, by the way, rape has nothing to do with transgender people whatsoever. It's a non-issue. Just like voter fraud. They love to make a big deal out of anything that they feel a little uncomfortable about. They don't give a shit about rape. They just really fucking hate the LGBT community. That's it.
Okay, so let's go a little further into that, because you remember the only time the Republican politicians talked about rape, they got in trouble, like Murdoch in Indiana, and lost a Senate seat because of that, because he thought, well, it's okay, you can't get pregnant from a rape. I mean, that is an outrageous, insane, old school way of thinking. So you're right, Anna. Anytime that rape has come up, come on, sexual assault in the military, is that big a deal? On college campuses. I mean, it's a war on boys.
What did Trump say about rape in the military? Trump specifically said, what do you expect when you put men and women together in the military? Blaming it on the victims. Oh, the GOP is very, very concerned about rape. No, they're not.
So then that point number 2 about that is, show me one instance where a transgender person raped someone in a bathroom. This is not a problem that exists in this country. It's totally made up. And by the way, think about it for a second. So if you're born a man, but your real identity is a woman, so you are transgender and you become a woman, and you use a woman's bathroom. Now, there are some of those folks who are also lesbians, but a very small minority. generally speaking, they are attracted to men. So why would they attack women in a women's bathroom if they self-identify as women? Are there really a lot of transgender lesbian rapists out there and I just haven't heard the stories? No, that is a category that I could say almost categorically does not exist.
No, this
does not exist.
This is the GOP doing what the GOP does best. Fear-mongering about groups of people that are different from them, that make them feel uncomfortable, that they're ignorant about. That's all this is, okay? Rape is not an issue here. This is about equality. This is about, supporting and protecting people who identify as whatever gender they identify as. It has no negative impact on society whatsoever. But the types of laws that North Carolina passed does have a negative impact on people, okay? Has a specific negative impact on the LGBT community. And by the way, certain municipalities in North Carolina are not allowed to pass laws that protect members of the LGBT community. That's part of that law in the state.
Yeah, it's actually, in my opinion, the bigger part of the more important part of the law. It's not just about bathrooms. It says that those laws, if you want to protect LGBT people from discrimination, you're not allowed to in the state of North Carolina. That's insane. And they don't get it. They say, okay, if there's no women's bathrooms, but that's not what the people were trying to do. They weren't trying to get rid of women's bathrooms and men's bathrooms. They were just saying, if you self-identify as a woman, then use the woman's bathroom. They didn't say remove women's bathrooms. They said just let people use the bathroom that they identify with. So instead, they want people who self-identify as women, who look like women, to go into the men's bathroom. Again, this is a nearly non-existent problem, let alone the insane theories about how rape is happening. It's crazy talk, right? But the Republicans are not going on a warpath on this because they think that this is happening all over the state of North Carolina. They're going on a warpath on it as a statement to the rest of people in North Carolina. If you hate gay people, we're right there with you, brother. That's the whole point of this.
Yep.
Remember, gay people are not equal to us. So, and then they'll turn around and say, can you believe the Muslims don't think gay people are equal to us? That's our monopoly. We have a monopoly on that. These are Christian fundamentalists who want to make sure that gay Americans do not have the same rights as straight Americans. That's what this whole thing is about. And should businesses stay away from the American Taliban, the American Al-Qaeda? Yes, they should. And if that's your representative in North Carolina, well, then you should vote his ass out if you're against that kind of religious bigotry. If you're upset with mainstream media, we have the alternative for you. Come build independent media with us. Your membership powers the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.